Good morning, everybody. Maik Wiedenbach here on a rainy, grudgy New York City morning, tackling the #1 gain killer, or one of the top gain killers. Paralysis through analysis. What? Well, in the age of the internet, there's too much information, okay? So when it comes to working out, you have people like Gwyneth Paltrow giving tips, and Lord knows she shouldn't. And then there's me, extremely qualified, and everybody in between. So people, they read and this and that, and they just don't know what to do. So they go from, yo, I just gotta lift heavy and eat lots of chicken breast, to, I wonder about blood flow restriction and if my BCAAs should be organic. So I shall facilitate all this and make this much easier. So what usually happens is people, they simply freeze up because there's too much info, and then they hop programs. So they do something for 48 hours, then they read something else, like, oh, I should do this, or they see some really big guy doing something, and they're like, oh, he got really big, so he must know what he's doing, let me do this. But that's not always the best of ideas. So let's call upon science. There's 4 commandments. #1, the human body can do 4 things: squat, hip hinge, lunge, and squat, hip hinge, push, pull. Okay? So squatting would be your squats, your lunges, your step-ups, your leg press. Hip hinge would be your deads, your good mornings, your pull-throughs, that kind of thing. Even though like lower back raises fall into that. And then push would be overhead press, incline, flies, tricep press, all that kind of thing. And then pulls, needless to say, would be rows, lat pull down, and even curls. So that's #1. #2, you must do each of these movements twice a week. Come hell or high water, twice a week. #3, you must not just do them, because that's always what happens. People do it like homework, yo, I got 3x10 of this. So you gotta create tension. Without tension, there's nothing. So what you gotta figure out is, okay, I wanna do a squatting movement, but which one works best for me? Where do I create the most tension in my quads and in my glutes? So it could be a cable squat, you know? So I always use my brother as an example. My brother is very, very tall. He's 6'8". He cannot do a barbell squat because the shearing force over his knee would just be nuts, right? So that doesn't mean this barbell squat is bad, it's just not for him. Then for presses, let's say you're not feeling a regular press, so do something with an inward intention, and so on and so forth. So create something that works for you. If you cannot create tension, you're wasting your time, and mine indirectly. And then there's #4, which is each muscle has an insertion and an origin. Only one can move. So your job is it to push them together. Origin, insertion. If they both move, the set's wasted. And then there could be like amendments like the US Constitution. Amendment #1, you must retract your scapulars. And amendment #2, you must cover the strength curve for it. But if you stick with the big 4, you'll be okay and you get massive gains. Maik out.